Today's lesson is lesson 9.1, so it's a brand new chapter that we're beginning. And this lesson is all about relating tenths and decimals. So far, this language should sound, familiar to you because we've already learned about tenths and you've seen decimals. So now we're going to show how to show the same information with tenths and decimals. So consider this little story. Ty is reading a book about metamorphic rocks. Sounds cool. He has read 7/10 of the book. What decimal describes the part of the book Ty has read? So we've already been familiar with fractions like 7/10. So let's take a look at what that looks like as a fraction. Here's a model with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal parts. Each part represents 1/10. So if we shaded in 7 of these, we would have just shaded in 7/10, right? So that's how we would shade in 7/10. I did it a little bit messy, but I think you get the idea. So now we're going to tell the same thing as a decimal. 7/10 is written as 7/10. Now consider place value when you hear the word tenths. We know the ones place over here to the left is the tens place, right? As you're familiar with. But this time we're going to go smaller than the ones place. There's the decimal point that separates whole from the parts. And those smaller parts of a whole have these names. Ready? The smaller part is tenths, but even smaller than that would be hundredths. So this is our place value chart you need to keep in mind. So now as we say 7/10, that's no whole numbers, no ones, and it would be a 7 in the tenths place. Makes sense. So we would write that as no wholes and 7 in the tenths place. So we read that as 7/10. And here we go. All right, so now we can also think of it as a, whoops, I should have put the 0. We can also think of it as what it would look like on a number line. Here we have 0/10, 1/10, right? The 1 is in the tenths place. Here we have 2/10. Next up, of course, would be 3/10. So how would we write that? 0 wholes and 3/10. Let's keep going. 4/10. 0 wholes and 4/10. 5/10. 0 wholes and 5 in the tenths place. Let's keep going. 6/10. 0 wholes and 6 in the tenths place. 7/10 is what we're studying in this question about Ty's book. 0 wholes and 7 in the tenths place. Let's keep going just to finish it off. 8/10, 0 wholes and 8 in the tenths place. Let's keep going. 9/10, 0 wholes and 9 in the tenths place. So what happens when we get to 10/10? You may remember that 10/10 is equal to 1 whole. So how would we show that? Using our decimal and considering our place value chart, it would be 1 whole and nothing in the tenths place. So therefore, blank, here it is. 0 wholes and 7/10. That's 7. It's super messy. All right, so we've got 7/10. So Ty read 7/10 of the book. So let's try this one. How can you write 0 wholes, and 1/10 as a fraction? Explain. So we would say 1 in the numerator, and then denominator, of course, would be this place value, which is tenths. The denominator is 10. So you'll have more practice in the questions to come. Great job.